Good Monday evening, high school sports fans. Joe Gillaway with Lingelstown Gazette Sports live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is episode 15 of our new podcast, Gazette Sports Chat, where we'll get to know participants from various realms of the high school sports world. The student athletes who play the games, the coaches who coach them, and others connected in different ways to the entire experience. We'll introduce you to tonight's guests in just a moment, as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show, our Lingelstown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors. And they are Rickabaz Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks to those great local businesses for their continued support of our area student athletes and Lingelstown Gazette Sports. Upcoming, we have a young lady by the name of Giselle Gigi Banks. She's a sophomore at Ursuline Academy, basketball player from Chester, PA. She won the Big School Player of the Year in girls basketball as an 8th grader, and then again as a 9th grader, Player of the Year, and she led her Ursuline team to a state championship last year. So this is a special young lady. She's ranked top 3 in her class nationwide, and there'll be a lot to talk about there. We're excited to have a chance to meet Gigi. Also, we're going to get together some multi-sport athletes, couple girls, couple boys from the area, and talk about the demands that playing more than one sport places on one's schedule, on one's life. And, not as many people are doing it these days as they once did. And we're going to see how they handle that, how they maneuver through that schedule. And then, of course, our high school football recap show. We'll be recapping week 8, maybe talking about our guest here tonight a little bit. And that's Sunday at 6, this Sunday at 6, and every Sunday at 6. Best high school football show around, that's for sure. So anyway, tonight's guests are 4 members of one of the premier high school football programs in the state of Pennsylvania. Their 2024 team is off to another great start and are poised for a successful run in the District 3 Class 6A tournament. It's my pleasure to welcome in Central York Panthers seniors, all 4 seniors, Micah Bowers, Tyler Fry, Matthew Parker, and Saxton Sukanik. Welcome, fellas. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. This is exciting for me. This is what I do. And, guys like you, programs like yours, Central York football, they're kind of like benchmark. It's a benchmark program in the area, and it's important that we get guys like you on and, kind of tell the viewers how you do it and what makes Central York football what it is. So how was practice, first of all? Was it practice, or was it just film?
We just had like a walkthrough and a scatter report meeting, so that was about it.
So nobody's getting banged up in that practice, right? Okay. No, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Weight room Monday.
Okay, weight room Monday. When do you watch film? Is that Saturday?
That's Saturdays, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, this late in the and anybody can answer this question. This late in the season, I mean, we have week 7 in the books. We're heading into week 8. How much hitting are you guys doing in practice?
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
This late in the season, we focus more on form tackling, making sure we're sound in our form. So, because it is important, you always got to tackle. That's a part of the game. But we are making sure that we're not banged up, you know what I mean? We're not rolling up on each other during practice, but we still have to make sure that we get that working.
Right. No reason to be killing each other at this point, right? Okay. So, Tyler, being an athlete at Central York's one of the premier sports schools around. I'm just going to say, to me, that definitely in York County, the top sports schools, and then you got maybe like a Cumberland Valley, Manheim Township, Central Dauphin, but you guys are kind of holding things down now in York County. What's it like being an athlete at Central York? And do the athletes support one another? Like the football players, do they support, let's just say, girls basketball, or does girls basketball support boys basketball?
Yeah, I mean, we're all friends with each other. I mean, I think all of us were at the state championship game for basketball. I mean, all of us know each other, and we're all friends, and it's a great community we have here. And so, yeah, it's great to be an athlete here. So, yeah.
Good school to go to?
Yeah, it's awesome. I couldn't ask for anything more. So, yeah.
Okay, so how freaking exciting was that to be down there
That was insane.
at Giant Center for that game?
Well, Saxon actually played, but I know me and Micah and Matthew were there, and me and Micah were front row. I know that, so it was awesome.
So let's kind of divert from my next question and go right to Saxton. What was it like having that gold medal around your shoulder? I mean, there was a lot that led up to it. You didn't just get a gold medal, but winning a 6A boys basketball championship in the state of Pennsylvania, what was that like?
Honestly, it was so many emotions all at once. Like just the relief of knowing how hard we worked in practice. Like I can't even stress that enough. We put in just so much work during practice in the months leading up to the state championship, especially after the way we went out in districts. We lost to Red Line. So we just it was just insane. The game is probably one of the most fun games ever participated in. Like there was a big crowd, it was loud. Like those are the games you really live for, you know what I mean? Like those few those few minutes where we were getting celebrated and wearing the medals, like it was all worth it, I promise you.
I was there. I was right within 20 feet of you guys when you're getting your medals. And Parkland, they wouldn't go away though, would they? Parkland.
Yeah, no. Credit to them. They had a really solid team. They put up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations. I know it's been a while, but you still deserve congratulations for that. That was so much fun just to watch. Matthew, more specifically, what's it like being a member of this football program?
I mean, it means everything coming from 4 year being at the football program. I started football in 7th grade, and they just opened me with welcome arms. So it's truly amazing coaching staff, and it's just great being part of the team.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Micah, how quickly does it seem like things have gone from you being, let's say, an inexperienced freshman, kind of bright-eyed and just trying to figure out what's going on and what your role was going to be, to a player that's expected to be kind of like a mentor and a role model on and off the field?
I mean, when I was a freshman, I felt like I didn't know anything. And then now it feels like those years just went by like that, like a snap of a finger. So
are you able to look at the young guys and say, I remember being there, so I better kind of.
Well, my brother's a freshman now. My brother's on the freshman football.
Oh, he is? Okay.
So, yeah.
What's he play?
He plays linebacker just like me.
Okay. Saxton, what are the off-field expectations of a Central York football team member?
Well, our coaches preach to us all the time that we're positive, contributing members to society. So that means, in the classroom or even outside of school and outside of football, we're always doing great things in the community. We're all very great students, expected to, try our absolute hardest in the classroom as we would on the football field. So I think our coaches prepare us more for life than they do for football, in all honesty. They give us great skills. They give us great preparation. They try to relate a lot of things in football to life. So we had those life skills, because at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. It's about how are we improving as sons, as eventually fathers one day, as husbands one day, as students. It's how are we improving in that aspect, and then the football comes along with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say this will all be over in a flash, but there's going to be a lot of years left in your lives after football's over.
Absolutely.
And let me clue you in on something. People are watching you guys, okay? In the school, outside of the school, like random members of your community, they're watching you guys. And, all indications that I get are that you guys are doing a great job representing the football program and the school, that's for sure. Tyler, how about playing for Coach Jerry Yanchuk? Talk a little bit about that.
He's a great guy at heart. He means well for everyone. He's a great motivator. He's a great person. And he's a great coach too. He's one of my favorite coaches I've ever had, and I just love playing for him. I'm gonna remember him forever. So yeah.
I wish he could coach me. I mean, I don't. I'm probably older than him. No, if I had to choose a coach, though, I would choose him. I mean, he's
absolutely.
I met him a handful of years ago. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and he always gets involved whenever Linglestown Gazette Sports is doing something. He seems to go out of his way to make sure that he gets some players and takes part. But one of the things I've noticed is when Coach Yanchuk is with his players look really excited to be with him, and he looks very excited to be with his players. It just looks like just a great, a lot of connection there, and positivity, and you guys are very fortunate to have Coach Janchuk. He seems like he just kind of exudes energy, positivity, and
Yeah, he's a very genuine guy.
right.
Like, he's not fake at all. He's very genuine. That's one of the things I like about him.
Matthew, how did you become a kicker? I mean, you have the build. You're an athlete. Okay, let me just clear that up for those. I've seen your physique before. You're a big, strong guy, athletic. What made you think, man? I think were you just kicking a ball around one day and it was going further than anybody else could do it? How'd that all start?
So, one of our linebacker coaches, Coach Ogle, he had a stepson. He was on my soccer team in 6th grade. So after the game, he just wanted to see like what type of soccer players to kick a football. So I went out there. I just like, why not? I kicked the 40-yarder the first time. And then guidance counselor in 7th grade wanted me to come out for a football team, but I was always like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And he finally got me out there. And then once I started playing with these guys, man, I just fell in love with kicking.
Right. So I have a very good friend of mine. He went to Morgan State. He played 4 years at Morgan State. He was a kicker. And he actually got MVP his senior year. He was a kicker and a punter. But some of what was tied to that was just his presence on the team, his attitude, the way that he interacted with his teammates. And what would you say, Matthew, to somebody that would say that a kicker's not a football player? What's your answer to that?
You sure need them. So I mean,
that's a great answer. That's a great. Yeah, I mean, I know a kicker's a football player, but I'm sure you've heard those people before with that kind of that attitude.
There's definitely different ways to earn trust with your teammates in the weight room, in the classroom, not even just on the field, just in community as well.
I bet you can earn some trust when you jack up somebody returning a kick, can't you?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, well, just for the record, I know you're an athlete. I was just asking that rhetorically because I know that I've heard people say that. How about Micah? Central York, kind of known for their offense, okay? Over the years, you've had Cade and Bo Perbula. Now Joel's Goff graduated last year. They're offensive players. Coach was excited. Coach Janchuk, this year I interviewed him, I think twice before the season. His excitement was kind of based in defense. What is like kind of the personality or the disposition of this year's defense, Micah?
I think that we just have a ton of guys that fly to the football, and we're smash mouth. We don't like to give up yards, and we don't like to give up points. So I think that's kind of our identity.
Yeah, I think the path I was going down with Coach Janchuk, I was kind of leading into talking about offense, like who's replacing Joel's, and he's like, let's stop here. He said, this defense is going to be the thing that we're going to kind of be counting on this year. And
we've had some injuries. We've had some injuries, but we're getting all guys back coming this week, I think. So I think going into playoffs, that's going to be our identity is our defense.
And you got through. Let's call it the game of the year. I mean, I don't know. You still have a couple games left. I can't imagine that any of them are going to have that amount of importance or impact on your season. But you got through and you got a win. Even being a little banged up. Yeah. Saxton, how about junior quarterback Brooklyn Nace? Talk about him. I think he's probably not. A lot of times the quarterbacks come on the show, but he's a junior. You guys are all seniors, so he'll have to earn his spot. 17-2 as a starter. He's throwing to you, Saxton. Tell us a little bit about Brooklyn Nace.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's all I gotta say. He's great, extremely smart kid, extremely smart with the football. I can always count on him to make the right read, make the right decision, knowing that the guy that's touching the ball every play is gonna do what's right with the football. That's great to know. We've had a really solid connection all year, especially on the deep ball, knowing that his arm talent's crazy, So I know when I get open, I have 100% confidence that he's going to put it where it needs to be every time. And
yeah, he's nice quarterback. I mean, he's a dual threat for sure, Okay, I'm going to throw this out for anybody to answer. We cannot go through this show. We don't have any offensive linemen here, do we? I don't think we do. Okay. But let's talk about the offensive line. Let's give them like kind of a shout out. Talk about who the guys are up there that are. It all starts with the offensive line. Let's face it. Nothing else is getting accomplished without a good offensive line. Tell me a little bit about your O-line.
Well, I would say that our offensive line coming into it, people thought that was going to be our weakest thing. We have a great center in Matthew McKinley who's really stepped up this year. People really didn't know about him, but he's been playing lights out. We had one returning starter on the offensive line, Brody Wright. He's playing well, and then everyone else is kind of just buying into what we're trying to do, and they help our offense tremendously.
Yeah,
A lot of people are doubting them.
Yeah, O-line's not something that just kind of you can't snap your finger. There's no magic wand. They really, really have to come together. Maybe even more than Brooklyn and Saxton. I mean, offensive line, their feet are side by side, and the way that they move around each other. That has to kind of develop. And once it does, man, it just makes everything better.
I think our offensive line coach, Coach Tet, he's one of the best around. He gets those guys ready every single year, so we're lucky to have him.
So, Tyler, the Dallastown game. You guys have not had a York County loss since 2018. That was a big game. I watched the whole thing. Okay. What was it like just being part of that game? You're on the road. It kind of seemed like that crowd was pretty hostile. The home crowd was making some noise, and there was a lot of energy. Talk a little bit about just being blessed to be part of a game like that, Tyler.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite Central memory of all time. Their student section was probably the biggest student section I've ever seen, other than probably Mayon Township and Cumberland Valley. But yeah, I mean, it was loud, it was fun, it was everything. It was just awesome. So I'm blessed to play in a game like that. I'm blessed to get the win. So
yeah, that's why I use the term blessed, because you're going to be someday. You're going to hopefully be 70 and looking back and going, man, guys, how about that Dallastown game? I mean, to me, it was really a game like that. It had that much importance and magnitude, and I could see the thrill of being a winner there and the agony of losing. I watched players from both sides, and so well done. It was a great win. Matthew, one of the things that I don't think that your teammates have to deal with to the degree you do. Talk about the nerves it takes to be a kicker. Is that easy to handle, or because I've seen great kickers going, every time I go out, I'm nervous, but I know what to do. I know how to execute. I know how to make a kick. Is that something that you have to deal with, like on a kick by kick basis?
It's definitely a kick by kick basis. Once you go out there, you're a little nervous. You got to line up. You got to see how far it is, what the conditions looking like. But once you're taking those steps back, you're focusing just how you would like if you were taking a shot. You're locked in, or follow through, whatever. It's the same thing. I mean, it's going to be nerve wracking, but you don't really hear the crowd that much, to be honest, when you're kicking. So,
do you have a dedicated kicking coach on your sideline on your team?
So yeah, I do. Mr. Hagerman, he's actually our athletic director. I met him when I was a sophomore, and he just kept helping me out throughout the year. I would have two backup kickers right now too. So we're just training anybody who comes by, and we're just trying to help.
Talk about you're senior. So how long have you been the team's kicker? How many years?
4.
Okay, all 4 years. Give me an example of like your biggest kick or one of your biggest kicks ever. What's going through your mind? You watch kind of the play or two leading up to it. You're probably going to be out there soon, right?
Yeah.
You're on the sideline. You see things kind of playing out that way. What are you thinking over there?
I would definitely say this year, Manon Township, when we weren't getting stuff going on offense, we were a little slow. Manon Township just scored a touchdown, so we got to come back with at least some type of points.
Right.
I knew we weren't getting the first down once he got Brennan got stuff right before like 2 yards, I think. So I lined up. It was like a 49-50. I went out there. I knew I had to knock it down, so I'll say that's definitely the biggest kick I had to do this year.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a pretty good team over there, Manheim Township, too. So no matter what kind of points you're going to put on the board against them, it's always important. Micah, do you guys have, and I'm not trying to start anything here, but I don't want to get anybody any reason to get fired up in the locker room, but are there any teams that you guys kind of have circled at the beginning of the season? I know up my way, it's like East High and Harrisburg or Cumberland Valley Central Dolphin? And I mean, you can answer this question with respect to the other team. I mean, do you go, oh boy, that's going to be a good one there on October 15th, or who is that team or teams?
I would say this year we were definitely fired up to play Dallastown. We had that circled on our schedule. I know me, I've played those guys on that team since I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big rivalry there. We don't like them. They don't like us. So.
Right. That's good. That's
Manheim this year too. We had that game circled because it was just a big game for us.
right. Yeah, you're not supposed to like them, and they're not supposed to
Yeah.
like you.
We got chippy with Manheim Township in 7-on-7, so there's a lot of
Right.
emotions running into that game.
And then you have, I mean, I don't think Red Lions having a great season, but that has to be some.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat your guy, your Saxton, in basketball, right?
Yeah.
You gotta. It's a different sport, man. But you guys kind of lay one on them, right?
Yeah.
Saxton, what's it going to be like? I mean, I know that every game is supposed to have the same level of importance, but you want to get that Redland game, get a W for what they did to you in districts.
Oh yeah, I can't. I'm excited to play this week. Yeah,
I'll bet you are. Saxton, while I have you here, how is this program recognized in the community? I mean, like, to be part of a Central York football program, do people know who you are, what you stand for, and that you represent your school with pride?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you walk around in the community, you have this type of gear on. People know you. People know who we are.
Right.
And it's always positive things they have to say about us because of the product we leave outside of ourselves. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're always carrying ourselves a certain way, which is preached to us by our coaches. So the impacts we have in the community, we're definitely recognized for sure. Of course.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, that's so important, you know, and that's. I think when I was younger and I played football, it was many years ago, but we weren't asked to do quite as much off the field and outside of the school. Now it seems to be something where, hey, if you want to be part of this, it's going to be more than just running and kicking and blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
Tyler, what is Central York's program? Let's kind of piggyback off of what Saxton just said. What is your program's role outside of school? Do you guys get involved in things, helping out with certain members of the community or older people, younger people? What do you guys do?
I think our main is just be a good role model to everyone in the program and just represent Central well, like outside of school and outside of football, and just make sure, like Saxon said, be a positive member of society and just be a good role model for everyone, especially younger kids coming up in our program.
Correct. Yeah. Be the whole package. That's for sure.
Yeah, we hold a youth camp for those younger kids coming up through, so we definitely help out with them. So
I remember when I was a kid, and I'm only saying this because I remember being young and having guys like you, and you guys were like the equivalent of an NFL player. When those kids are that young, that's how excited they are to meet you guys and to be around you guys, you know? So I just think that's neat. I mean, I think they're probably going home and telling their mom and dad, you never believe who I met today. I met Micah Bowers. I met Matthew Parker, you know? And, you know, what they don't realize, you guys are like 17, 18-year-old kids, but not to them. That's not to them for sure. What about Matthew? I was going to ask you this the last time I had you ask you a question, but let's talk about this free kick. Okay, 54-yard free kick. I know what a free kick is because I cover sports and I follow sports. Yeah. But I would bet you that most people probably don't know what a free kick is, that it's even a legal play in football. You connected on a 54-yard free kick. Talk about what that is and what went into you making that.
To be honest, I didn't even know what it was before I even went out there. I knew a little bit of it, but not too much. All I know is if like close to halftime, like 5 seconds left, enough for like a punt or a kickoff. You can fair catch it wherever the ball is caught at. You can kick off or field goal from there. Usually, you do kickoff steps. You have your tee out there, defensive 10 yards back, and versus York High. I mean, it wasn't really a big game. It wasn't really too much. We were just blowing them out, but it was fun to go out there. Definitely try that before halftime, and it was a cool feeling. And what's his name? PA Football News called me after talking about it's a national record.
Billy Splain.
Yeah. He told me it was a national record. I was like, no way. and then they changed it to a state record, but it's still pretty cool.
That's very, very cool. So is it a drop kick?
No,
I mean, there's different ways to kick a ball. You can kick it off a tee, a
yeah,
state
I kick
straight
off a
tee.
tee, like a normal kickoff.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm glad that your name's in the record books, man. That's a big deal. Micah, Archbishop Hoban. Okay. Coach Janchuk told me all about them before the season started. They're out of Akron, Ohio. It's a game that was added to your schedule. Coach Janchuk was it's not easy to add games, especially when a team knows that they're probably going to lose. Okay. Not you guys. I mean, somebody who Coach Janchuk's trying to get to add.
Yeah.
And Central York's not one of those teams you just want to throw in at the last second because there's a good chance you're not going to win that game if you're the other team, the opposition. But this Archbishop Hoban program, 15 losses over 10 years and 5 state championships in 10 years. What do you guys know about them? You have a game before them, but is that going to be kind of figure out what you guys are really made of or what?
I mean, we know we're a good football team. We know they're a good football team. For us, we know we're lining up 11 guys. It's about what we do on our side of the ball. It doesn't matter who we play. We'll play our football, and if we play our football, I don't think anyone in the state can beat us.
That's it. I love that answer. And what better way to get tuned up for the postseason, than to play a team like that. But up first, Saxton is Red Lion, and that's who's right in front of you. Your coaches are probably looking at me like, don't be asking them about these games down the road because it's all about who's up next, right, Saxton?
Absolutely, yeah.
What does Red Lion bring? What are you guys going to have to do to prepare for them?
Well, week in and week out, we just have to know that even though it has been a while since we've been knocked off, we have to take no one lightly because everybody wants us. Everybody's coming for our necks. So we treat each game with the same level of respect. And this week in Red Lion, they have a lot of athletes. They almost beat us last year. They gave us a really good fight. And even the year before, they gave us a pretty good fight up until the second half. So Red Lion is definitely a team that's going to have a big plan for us and that's going to want to beat us really bad. So we just have to know that we have to match our athletes with their athletes, come in prepared. And, really it comes down to the fundamentals and our techniques and doing what we're coached and executing our plan, and we should be all right.
Yeah, Central York is, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, Central York is Red Lions Super Bowl. You guys are a lot of teams Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If we're not going to go 9-1 or 10-0, at least we want to beat Central York. And I'm sure that that's probably the way Red Lions looking at this game. So you have to be ready. I mean, that's the answer I would want if I were a coach to hear Saxton is, we have to line up and be ready for them just like anybody else on their schedule. Because, you guys win a lot of games. I think you guys have like 6 losses in 5 years. And that's because you take teams like Red Lions seriously. You don't try to look past teams. So, we wish you well this week against Red Lion. Matthew, I think it's important to talk about. I always try to throw this in. You're a Penn State commit. You'll be playing for Coach Franklin next year, at least to some degree. I mean, I don't know if there's kickers ahead of you or how that's all going to play out. But talk about the process. There might be younger kids watching this or parents who have to get involved in the recruiting process. And I don't need you to write a book here, go from the beginning to end, but talk about what you had to go through, you and your parents, to end up getting this commitment to Penn State. You had to say no to some schools. What was it about Penn State that kind of, in the end, you said, that's where I want to go?
To start off with the recruiting process, I think Coach Watt, he helped me out. He reached out to many schools for me, not just for me, but for everybody on the team. I know on Twitter, reached out to many coaches, just try to, put my name out there. Penn State really stuck out to me. It was close to home. My family loved it up there. It just felt welcoming. Coach Franklin, the special teams coaches, Coach Bruno, Coach Lustig, Coach Stats. It was just very opening. I just ready to get to work there in January.
Now, if I were recruiting you to go to Penn State, what I would say is, Matthew, you're never going to have an opportunity like you will in a whiteout at Penn State. I mean, have you envisioned that? Have you pictured that in your mind, going out there lining up for a 50-yarder during a whiteout?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
That's kind of ridiculous to
I
even
know.
think of.
It is crazy.
I was up there just covering a high school game. They had State College in Cumberland Valley played like 4 years ago, and there was 7,000 fans. Okay, instead of
Yeah,
107. But
yeah.
just standing on that sideline and looking up at
I know.
and envisioning all those fans in there. Well, I'm excited for you. Congratulations,
I
and
appreciate it. I
yeah,
appreciate
you got a great school, and they got a great student athlete coming in. That's for sure.
it.
What about you guys, Micah, Tyler, and let's go to Tyler. What are your plans for after high school?
Definitely play football at college. I have offers from Shippensburg, Bloomsburg, East Stroudsburg, and Wheeling University.
Good football programs for sure, right
Yeah,
there.
but I'm gonna try to pick some more up after the season's done. I know Coach Wise been great with helping me in that regard, and yeah, just focus on what I can control mainly. So,
Right. Whatever's right in front of you, you do the best you can, and you'll get to that point for sure. How about you, Saxton?
Yeah, I'm actually committed to UConn, so I'll be up there in January to play corner for them. So
I am sorry. I don't know how I overlooked that.
No, it's all good.
I am so sorry. That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's big time college football for sure. What was it about UConn? I mean, again, I'm sure there was more than just one school that wanted you. How did you kind of go through and eliminate teams and settle on UConn?
Yeah, absolutely. So, actually, for me, I started getting my offers after my junior season. I picked up a pretty decent amount, but I came down to my official visit season, and I got down to two schools, Iowa State and UConn, and I took my UConn official visit first. And like Matthew said, it just really felt like home. Like when I went there, I bonded really well with the coaches. They treated me like family, even the players. Like it just felt like one big family. And a lot of things there kind of remind me of Central York in that aspect, with how they treat each other, how they act with each other, and a lot of the things they preach. It reminds me of something I've already been a part of, and that something I want to continue to be a part of. So that's really what inspired me to go there. And yeah.
I asked this question, Saxton, this is kind of what I do, and I interview a lot of student athletes, and the ones that I know that are seniors, I ask them this same question all the time. And they say, when you know, you know.
Absolutely.
It's like I'm waiting for this profound, take me down the path exactly how it happened. And they say the same thing, man. When they visited, somebody embraced them, or they said the right thing, or they just felt like home, like you said, it felt like home. And that's a great answer. I mean, that's kind of how life is, when you meet a new friend, when you know, you didn't get up that morning and say, I'm going to go out and find a new friend. You got around somebody, you said, man, this guy's pretty cool. And you knew that was going to be your friend. And it's probably the same way with UConn in your life. What's it going to be like? I'm going to ask you one more question because I love college basketball. You're going to be in Storrs, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't think anybody had ever heard of Storrs if it wasn't for sports, UConn sports. You get to go to UConn men's and women's basketball games. How big of a deal is that?
I mean, it's crazy. I can't wait, in all honesty. I'm definitely, as soon as I get there in January, I'm front row, right in the student section, right with all.
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine.
I'm really excited for is, we have a lot of great winning programs. Like you look at soccer, field hockey, volleyball,
right,
basketball, even football. Now we're winning some games, so there's a lot of winning programs in Storrs. So I definitely can't wait to get all around it, and honestly, just taking all the knowledge from all those guys and all those different sports and what they do to help me be successful. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
It's not a tiny school by any stretch enrollment wise, but it's not a really huge school either. And they they compete, like you said, in so many different sports. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that. Have fun with football. Have fun being a basketball fan. That's exciting stuff. Micah, you're next, right, buddy?
Yeah.
What are you going to do after? You can't stay in high school forever, okay? Just so you know.
I do plan on playing football after high school. I do not have any offers right now, though. Wherever God puts me, I'm going to make the most of my opportunity, and I'm going to accomplish my goals that I have set for myself. So I'm just excited to see where I end up.
How do I know that you're going to get some opportunities? I just know, and I think you're probably a really good football player, and I think you're part of a program here at Central York that's going to be attractive for a college coach. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm not the biggest guy at my position, but I know what I'm about when I step between those white lines. So it's just
Right.
a coach taking a chance on me. So.
Well, keep working on that, and I'm excited to see where you end up landing for sure. Okay, so we're going to switch gears here. All right, we're going to move on to what we like to call keeping it light. Okay, keeping it light. It's going to have nothing to do with football. We're not going to talk about 54-yard kicks anymore or where Saxton's going to college. These are going to be just random general questions, and we're going to learn a little bit more about you guys. Okay, so let's start. Let's go back to Micah there. Favorite meal. Let's just say it's your birthday, and I don't know who cooks, your mom, your dad, or somebody's taking you out. What's your go-to meal?
I would say Texas Roadhouse. I love the rolls there, and the steak is mad good.
You can't. There is no argument against that
Yeah.
meal. That's really good. Matthew, how about let's get all-time favorite athlete, any sport, any level.
I did just wear a Kobe Bryant jersey to school today, so I'm about to go with Kobe Bryant.
They can't go wrong with Kobe Bryant. That's for sure. Tyler, favorite all-time favorite sports team, any sport, any level.
Penn State football.
Oh wow!
I know everything about it, so I love it.
So you've got a teammate that could probably gain you a little bit of access up there, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm not trying to broker anything here, but that's to have and then I guess do you know Bo at all?
I do know Bo, yeah.
I figured you
My
probably
neighbor,
did.
actually.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Man, he's playing real well up there.
Yeah, he is.
Seems like every time he gets in the game, he does something well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's never that guy that he all athletes make mistakes, but every time I see his hands on the ball, he's doing something great or something really good. Saxton, favorite dessert?
Ooh, there's too many.
No, give me a couple, man. This is not hard. We're gonna make this easy. Tell me a couple that you like, man.
We're talking like ice cream style desserts. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream.
That's my favorite.
But I absolutely love brownies. I love like brownie sundaes too.
Yeah, those man.
Good. Yeah.
So
I eat a lot of cookies too. I love cookies.
What kind of cookies do you like?
I like chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies.
Oh man.
Dessert is a hard one, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Yeah, I had some girls on the other day. They were Central Dolphin volleyball, and the girl said her favorite dessert was brownies. And I said, "You like a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream there?" She said, "No." I'm like, "Come on, you gotta like ice cream with your brownies, right?" Yeah. Okay, let's go one more round here. Let's go back up to Micah. Let's find a good one here. What do you like to do outside of football? Like, there's so many. What's your favorite activity, or what's your kind of thing to get away from everything?
We actually like to go play pickleball with each other, and we get super competitive with that. It gets our mind off football, and it's just a way to compete and have fun.
That's 2 weeks in a row that I had a student athlete tell me that they like to play pickleball. You know, it used to be an old man and an old woman sport, right? Not anymore. Does anybody else play pickleball? Do you guys all play pickleball?
Yeah, we kind of play as a team.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Matthew. Do you have a favorite restaurant? Somebody's going to like hearing Matthew saying this, whatever restaurant it is.
Restaurant.
Or a place that you like to go. Is there like a sports bar down there? You guys go for wings or whatever? Okay, we're going to move on from that one. I told you this wasn't going to be hard. So how about favorite musical artist?
That's hard too.
Is that hard too?
Yeah, that's really hard.
Drake, bro. You know you're Drake.
It's not Drake.
Okay, well, we're gonna move on. Here,
I'll answer Mike's question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. He also said we all do play pickleball together, but we also do, all go to Bible study together, and it's really
Bible study.
Yeah, so it's really a good getaway.
Good, that's wonderful. Okay, well then let me ask you an easier one here. Favorite candy, Matthew.
I love chocolate, so Hershey's chocolate bar.
Just a regular old Hershey's chocolate bar.
Yeah, I love chocolate.
Okay.
How much you love chocolate?
I like
Tyler
white chocolate too.
Yeah.
Tyler, how about? All right, you look like a bright kid. I'm going to ask you the question that nobody wants to be asked. All right. Favorite book?
My playbook.
Oh, man. Are we going to allow that, guys?
No.
No, he kind of like bailed out.
Not answer.
I don't know if you can get off the hook that easily. Is there
I
any
got
books?
this book right here.
There we go.
Goggins.
Oh,
That's it. Way to come back. We were not going to allow that first answer. Okay, that's a good one. So I think we have Saxton. You're going to be the last one here.
Give me a good one.
I'm going to give you a good one here. Bucket list item. You know what a bucket list, right? Is there something that you haven't done yet that you want to do someday, whether it's maybe next year, 10 years from now?
Honestly, just travel. That's been my plan. Once I hopefully get out of college, or maybe I find a career and do whatever, I get some time, I can settle down and travel the world. That's always what I wanted to do.
Find out what things look like outside of York County.
Yeah.
And you guys do get a chance to travel here and there, especially if you go off to college, but you're really just getting off of a bus, putting your uniform on, playing a game, and then going back to wherever you started. So that's a very mature answer there. I mean, most people your age, they're not even thinking about travel, but that's a great answer because there's so much out there and so much to offer for you. Okay, so let's do this. Let's give how about shout outs? Let's go back up to Micah. Is anybody watching now, or maybe they'll watch later tonight or tomorrow, that you want to say hi to?
I say hi to my Nana. I know my girlfriend's watching, and I think my mom's watching, so hello to you guys.
That's 3 quality shout outs, Micah. Yeah. Nana, girlfriend, and mom. Nobody's going to be able to top that. Matthew, who are you shouting out?
I know my grandma's definitely watching. Shout out to my parents, and I think that's always watching right now.
Good. Okay, Tyler?
I'm going to do the same as Micah. My grandparents, my girlfriend, and my mom.
Okay. Saxton?
I mean, same thing, I guess. Shout out my parents. Shout out my siblings. You know, I mean, now my siblings are watching this. They probably don't even know this is going on, but shout out to them too. Shout out to my girlfriend as well. And
good.
Shout out Coach Y. I know Coach Y is
Coach Y is watching.
You beat me to it. I was going to shout out Coach Y. Yeah, you got to shout out Coach Y. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's you guys have been great guests. Let's do this before we close it down. I have a friend. He owns. Let's see if I can point at it here. Pay or Apparel, right above my head there. It's a sports. It's an athletic clothing company, and we're going to get you each a T-shirt. I think we'll do. Is orange okay? Orange with white letters, Central York colors. Yeah. Let's start with Micah. What's your size? Men's T-shirt.
I'll just take a men's large.
Okay. How about Saxton?
I'll take a large as well.
All right. Matthew?
Large too.
And Tyler?
Large too. We're all large.
Nice. Everybody's good with orange?
Yes.
Central York colors? Okay. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Micah Bowers, Matthew Parker, Tyler Fry, Saxton Sukanik. You guys exceeded my expectations. I actually expected a lot because you guys are Coach Jerry Janczek players, okay? Just so you know. I knew I was going to be in for a treat, but you guys exceeded whatever I thought was going to happen here tonight. And I'm excited for you guys moving forward. Have a great postseason. And just have fun. You know, this is an important time in your life. You know, you're playing football, you're winning, you got loved ones in your life, and you're getting ready to go off to college, and just embrace it, man. Have fun with whatever's going on right now. So let's thank our sponsors once again before we wrap up here. Rickabaz Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bobbitt, Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Once again, up this Wednesday, 2 days from tonight, Giselle Gigi Banks. She's a sophomore at Ursuline Academy, nationally ranked, nationally recognized girls basketball player. Then we're working on getting some multi-sport athletes together and do a show along those lines. And we have our high school football week 8 recap show this Sunday at 6 o'clock, every Sunday at 6 o'clock. So for Micah, Matthew, Tyler, and Saxton, I'm Joe Gillaway. Thank you very much, fellas. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one.